Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be unboxing Tumbledown Street for Moonstone. If you've picked up the starter set and are looking for something to expand your troop, then I think this is a really nice option. And in the video I'll be going through all the models, getting them built, I'll even show you them painted, and we'll have a good look at their character cards. A big thanks to the team at Goblin King Games for sending this out, and I'll put a link in the description down below so you can find out more. So here we go then, Tumbledown Street. And we've got some great artwork as usual on the front of the box, and these are going to be used for the Dominions, and so these are going to be the humans, and we'll just go around there with the autumn theme that they've done with the artwork. And then on the back you can see the little introduction to Moonstone the game, and this tells you you're going to get 3 resin miniatures, and these are going to include Agatha, Fritz and Quack. Inside you can see these are all well protected. And it's great that they put in these sheets of foam, and then sometimes the model's a little bit bigger, so they fill it up with the smaller pieces to protect it. But here you can see you're going to get all your models in the bag, and then you're going to get 3 cards. So let's get rid of these foam, and you can use those for all sorts. I've started using them when I do dry brushing at the moment. We'll have a close-up look at the models on the sprues first, and then see them when they're built, and then we'll go through all the cards as well in detail, going through their abilities, and also having a look at their signature moves. And the first thing I always do with these cards is I grab hold of a little card protector, and these are Dragon Shield Clear Classics 88 by 63mm. Let's get the models out then, and we'll have a close-up look. And I've got to say, it's a really fun set to play. I made this unboxing video a while ago, and I've been playing them a lot since then. And they sync up so well with the models you get in the starter set. It's a really nice progression on, and then add in a bigger, like, giant in there as well is a really good way to go. More on the giant later on, though. I'll show you the one that I've added to these as we work our way through. But here we've got our 32mm bases and our 3 models, and let's start with Agatha Tavernfrau. And I really like playing Agatha and playing her along with Fritz, or as I do with the Drunk Fritz model, which you can also get separately, is a really good way to go. And the models are just fantastic. Resin models, not much to put together as far as parts go, so really quick and easy to get going. Just give them a good scrub, I find really helps, certainly when you're going to apply the paint and the primer. Giving them a good clean up with some hot soapy water is a good way to go, and then just glue them together with super glue. Really easy. But the details are just so crisp and are just really fun to paint. Then we've got Quack, and this guy's got a lot of details going on, so this is a challenging one if you want to paint the front of his like apron there. If you want to catch all those details and do them all in different colours, then that's certainly going to be a nice challenging one to do. But you'll see how I painted mine later on. And then again, you're only going to get a couple of parts, his arms and his head to put on. But fantastic detailing on the rucksack especially, all the little pouches and potions that he's hanging off him. And his face is just brilliant. You can get hold of it, you can have a proper look. Let's get it right in focus. There we go. Yeah, really well done. And I haven't played Quack that much actually. I tend to go with Agatha and Fritz the most from this set. But it's nice to have him there as a different model that you can bring in sometimes just to mix things up a little bit. Alright, next up we've got Fritz. So this is regular Fritz. He comes in the box obviously, but you can also buy the Drunk Fritz limited edition model. And that's a great one if you can get hold of it. So cool. But here he is, looking awesome in his fancy clothes. Massive sword. A great looking model. And again, a really fun one to paint, as you'll see with Drunk Fritz later on. There we go then. There's all the models. And now I'm going to put those together and you'll see them painted up as well. And here they are. So we've got Quack, we've got Agatha and Fritz there, all lined up. Now, I haven't painted the regular Fritz yet, as I've been playing with the Drunk Fritz model. But I do want to paint him in a different colour scheme, give him a different outfit, which I think will be really fun. And then here are the models from the starter set that you can play them alongside. And then all together, you've got a nice little troop here. You're going to get 7 models in total if you combine this with the starter set. And now I thought I'd be playing the goblins more, but I found I play the humans more often than not. I really like the way their abilities sync up and just great models. But let's have a closer look at Quack then. And here you can see I've painted him up. And with this guy, I used a lot of contrast paints on him and then just added some highlights. You can see on the trousers, that's pretty much just contrast paint. The same on the rucksack and satchel as well. And I did some layering on the flesh areas and on the smoke and bottles. And then with Agatha, I went to town and just did a layering effect on every part of this. So I didn't really use contrast here, maybe a little bit on the boots, but just gave them a highlight on top. I wanted to try something different with her and this was one of the models that really got me going with this layering technique, and I've been having a ton of fun ever since. And then here we've got Fritz, and he's primed with a grey paint and then a heavy white dry brush, and that just really shows off all the crisp details. And this is a great model for a combo of contrast and layering, as I've done here with Drunk Fritz. So you can see that blue and red, that is pretty much just contrast paint going over that prime, and I think it's come out really nice. And then some of the other areas, like around the ruffles on the socks there, I've painted those and layered them up, and also done that on the beard too. But let's have a look at the ability cards now. We'll start with Quack then. And you can see that Quack is a human, a wizard and a cleric with a melee of 2, a range of 1 inch, and arcane 5, evade 0. He's going to be a weakling, so that's going to reduce his melee damage, and it's also going to cost him when he harvests. It'll cost an extra energy. And then for a passive ability, he's got Premonition. If an enemy character declares this model as a target of an action, you can interrupt the action to make a reaction step by discarding 1 energy. And if you do, the enemy must complete the action if possible and may not choose a new target either. So Quack's a bit of a slippery customer, and he's also got Foresight, and this is 1 energy with a 10-inch range. Once per turn, he can target a human who gains +2 arcane stat until end of the turn. That's really nice. And then the arcane abilities are healing, and these are 2 energy at 8 inches. Target restores X +1 wounds, looking for blues, and the catastrophe is Quack would suffer 2 wounds. And then he's got blinding powder for 1 energy at 4 inches. He can reduce the target's melee and arcane stats by 2 times the blue until the end of turn. And the catastrophe for that one is that the model will lose all of their energy, so some pretty big consequences there if it all goes wrong for Quack. And then you can see he's got his signature move on a low guard, and in total he can take 7 wounds. So if we flip over the card, we can see that the upgrade for the low guard is called Gone in a Puff, and he's not going to deal any damage whatsoever to the enemy. And there's an end step effect here where the enemy model has -2 melee stat for the remainder of the turn, and this model then may move 4 inches, so he can get right out of the way. That's a really strong signature move. That's great. Now let's have a look at Agatha's card, and I think she's my favourite from the whole set. I think the abilities are really good, and she's a human with a melee 3, range of 1 inch, arcane 3 and evade 0. So nothing really stands out there, but it is the arcane abilities that really make her, I think. She's got Deutsch Courage, and if a friendly soldier or mercenary makes a melee attack while within 6 inches of this model, you may have them gain 1 energy, and that's once per turn. So that's really nice as well. That's a really good one to team her up with Fritz. And then Concealed Dagger, if this character deals piercing melee damage, increase the damage dealt by +1, and if this character plays a rising attack, increase the damage dealt by +1 too. So she can be pretty tough if she can get that Concealed Dagger going off. And then for the arcane abilities, you've got Enticing Offer. This is 2 energy, 10-inch range, and you're looking for a 2 with any colour. And you move the target 4 inches directly towards this model. And the catastrophe is the model will suffer 2 wounds. And I find that I like playing her with Drunk Fritz and using this Enticing Offer to get him moving up the board a lot quicker, because Drunk Fritz has got a few drawbacks as far as movement goes. She's also got Drink Your Fill. This is 1 energy, 2-inch range, once per turn. And she's got 3 options here. With a green, she can target someone who loses an amount of energy as per the card. Or with blue, the target gains the amount of energy and its arcane stat is reduced by -X until end of turn. Or the target's melee stat is increased by +X until end of turn. But the catastrophe is that the target loses possession of up to 1 Moonstone they are carrying and place it in base contact with them with a depth value of 1. Agatha's signature move is on a high guard, and she comes with 8 wounds. And if we flip the card over, we can see that the upgrade for the high card is called Hell Hath No Fury, and she's not going to deal any damage for that. But if it's anything other than a high guard or low guard played by the opponent, she is going to get a chance to have a sneaky attack. So very nice. And then if she's got rising attack, that could work out really nice with the Concealed Dagger ability that we saw earlier on. And now we've got Fritz, and Fritz has got human, mercenary and soldier keywords. He's got a melee of 4, range of 2 inches, arcane 0 and evade +1. He's got the Greatsword ability, and it says if this character deals slicing melee damage, increase the damage dealt by +3. If this character deals impact or piercing melee damage, increase the damage dealt by +1. So he can certainly start racking up the damage if he can get the slicing melee going on. And then intermediate is another ability. This will cost 1 energy and it's a 4-inch range. He can target human or goblin who suffers -2 arcane stat and gains predictable combatant, and which tells us that during a round of combat, before each player selects their combat card, you must reveal your hand to your opponent, and that will last until the end of the turn. He's also got Stand Back for 1 energy, and this is a 2-inch pulse. Can use this once per turn, and all other models within the pulse move 1 inch directly away. That's going to come in handy to keep them at 1 inch. If they've got a 1-inch weapon, keep them out of the way so they can't do any damage, while he unleashes his 2-inch weapon and starts racking up the damage. So that's pretty interesting. He's also got a rising attack signature move, and they've got 9 wounds altogether. And as we flip the card over, we can see that the rising attack upgrade is Corn Cutter, and this will deal slicing damage, which is what you want. And you can see here he's going to do some varying amounts of damage on everything except a low guard. And then the end step effect is deal 2 slicing damage to all models within 2 inches that did not participate in this round of melee, and this does not count as melee damage. So there we go, he can start attacking a number of opponents as long as they're within range. I really love the combo of Agatha and Fritz, or in particular Drunk Fritz. I think that's really fun to play. And if you want to see them in action, I have done a video where I go through the Go Home You're Drunk scenario, which is really fun and a nice 3-player game. Especially good if you want to get someone into it who hasn't played before, then that's a really good scenario to try out. You can also see the complete how to play Moonstone video that I've done on the channel that takes you all through the rules, and I've done loads of painting videos now for all different characters, and I certainly recommended getting hold of this one, Dim and Dimmer, a fantastic character, a joy to paint, and it's just a brilliant addition to the troupe. I don't just cover the humans, I've even done one of the newer models that isn't out yet if you want to check out how I painted Rory, and then also Gump, one of the tree folk, a fantastic model. But that sums up Tumbledown Street, and I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and now hopefully you can decide whether or not you'd like to add this to your collection. But let me know what you think about these down below, and I'd also love to hear who's in your troupe and the combos you like to play. But for now though, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, it'd be awesome if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.